In today's episode, we're going to discuss a vacation emergency plan. These are things that you need to have in place just in case an emergency happens while you are traveling. In this plan, it will include things such as procedures, emergency contact, resources to help you stay safe, and to respond quickly in case of an emergency while you are traveling. Wh- First, we're going to start off with emergency contacts. These are people that you have in place that you can call or that you have written down and inside of the front pocket of your suitcase and also written in the pocket of your passport. It should include their name, their phone number, their email address. These are individuals that you can call on and they will be able to respond if you have an emergency while you're traveling. Keep in mind, it should not include someone that you are traveling with. Next, we're going to talk about an emergency travel kit. Now, this is for when you take road trips. So, for example, a flashlight, have snacks, water, a small toolkit in your possession where you can reach it if anything happens, like while you're on the road. In addition, you should also have a battery operated radio, something that does not use the Wi Fi. So you want to and make sure the batteries are new when you travel. And so you should actually separate the batteries from the radio and just have it in the emergency kit in your car or in your vehicle, whatever you're riding in, so that you're able to use it just in case. Now we're going to talk about emergency evacuation routes. That's while you're traveling. That's if you're flying into a destination like an all inclusive. What are the emergency evacuation routes in order for you to get out safely? How do you get out of this space? Whether it's in your room, whether it's at the pool or wherever you can be, just make sure when you get there, you scope out those evacuations route. And even while you're traveling, be prepared for detours and plan an alternate route just in case that particular road is closed or something happens where you must take another alternative. Let's talk about emergency numbers. This is important when you travel abroad and out of the country because you need to know how do you call back to home, wherever home is. You need to know the emergency number, or not just the emergency number, or the contact information where you can get in contact with the nearest embassy. Also, being able to give those numbers to your family or your emergency contact that you leave at home where they know how to call into the country if they need to reach you for anything. So just planning ahead for whatever country you're going to, find out how someone can call into the country in case of an emergency and how you can call out of the country in case of an emergency. Let's discuss travel documents. So you will have your original passport with you. However, you should leave a copy of your passport with your emergency contact person. Any travel documents such as your passport, a travel visa, your copy of your COVID card, things that you need while you're traveling, your boarding passes, and if you can't give them a copy of your boarding pass, make sure they have your reservation number so that if something happens, they can easily identify where you are and get to you, or whatever information they need to assist you while you are out of the country and traveling. And that's not just when you're out of the country, that's also if you travel domestically as well. Another tip that I just learned here recently is, although when you are cruising, some cruise ships allow you to board the ship with your original copy of your birth certificate. While that can be convenient and you don't have to take a passport, let me tell you why I do not recommend it. Even though the cruise ships allow you to do it, I don't recommend it because if something happens in another country, you cannot travel back on that birth certificate. You need a passport to travel inside of another country. I recommend that anytime you leave your country, make sure you are traveling with your original passport and leaving a photocopy of your passport with your emergency contact back wherever your home is. Again, I know that you can travel on some cruise ships with your original copy of your birth certificate. However, that is not recommended. It is recommended that you use your passport in order to travel because if an emergency happens and you have to leave that ship for whatever reason, how you're going to get back to where you live, how you're going to get back into your country without a passport. The birth certificate will not get you back into the country. So consider traveling all the time with your passport, especially if you're leaving the country. Now, a few tips I want to add if you are traveling alone. A lot of people are adventuring now and doing solo travel. If you're traveling alone, it is recommended that you check in with your emergency contact back home at least twice a day. If you can do a video, do a video, but you want to check in back home at least twice a day. In addition, make sure you know as a solo travel, where is the nearest embassy if I need help from my country, directly from my country. Because although the embassy is in another country, they still operate under your country's rules, and that's a safe place where you can go. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the hotel or the resort, their emergency evacuation plan, and what you need to do in case of an emergency. And again, the same thing applies. Know how to call into the country and also how you could call out of the country. So you want to share that information with your emergency contact or the person that's back in your country, and they know that you are gone on vacation out of country. And the last tip that I want to share with the solo travelers is you want to enroll in the STEP. STEP stands for Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. When you do that, you enter in all of your travel information and they know exactly where you are. And then your family also can access this information. Again, that's another way of letting other people know that you are traveling abroad. And in case of an emergency, we can help you out of your family. These are the tips that I wanted to share with you for anyone traveling and just basically being prepared for an emergency while you're on vacation. And once you get this all together, I ask that you talk to your family members about it, let them know what the plan is. And then, as we always say here, write it down because it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Until next time, peace.